Very pleasant good morning to all. Dear students, once again welcome to our English class. In this video, we are going to enjoy our first lesson, his first flight. At the same time, this story, it is very interesting, and it is about a young seagull, about its first attempt to fly. There lived a young seagull with his mother, brothers, and a sister and father. Immediately after hatching, the young seagull was unable to fly. So it was waiting. It was waiting to fly. So here, his parents taught the art of flying to his brothers and sisters. So his immediately after learning the art of flying, his parents, brothers and sisters had flown away, leaving this young seagull on the rock. So it remained on the rock for a long time. This young seagull remained on the rock for a long time, waiting for his parents for help. But there was no food. At the same time, he was very hungry. So he could see his parents, the brothers and sisters, they were enjoying in the other side of the cliff, near the sea. So here, this young seagull made several attempts to fly. So it tried its level best. But it couldn't fly. So when even its parents made several attempts to make this young seagull to fly, but it went in vain. There was no use of learning this young seabird how to fly. So he saw his mother approaching with food from a long distance, but stood with some. But the mother came very closer with the food. At the same time, it kept some distance from the young seabird. So it was trying to move towards its parents. In the other side, it was going to the edge of the rock. And if it goes, it will fall down. So it was totally scared and it was totally disappointed. And you don't know, even it was very hungry. So in order to get the food, it went towards the rock. It went towards the mother, to the edge of the rock, and it fell down. It was immediately after falling down, it became very sad, as well as it was very scared. Later, when it was about to go near the sea, it realized he had wings. When it was about to come near the sea, it realized it had wings and started to flap and immediately. It could fly. Similarly, in our life also, whatever initiative we take, in everything, whatever steps, when the very first steps we take also, there will be a lot of challenges. At the same time, we have to overcome the challenges. How to overcome the challenge? Sometimes we may be in the concept of self-imposed limitations. What do you mean self-imposed limitations? Most often we may think when a task is given to us, we may think, I am good for nothing, I am not fit for this. This type of reasons that may arise in our thoughts. At the same time, the another factor is fear and doubt that conquer us. fear and doubt that conquer us, and that stop us to overcome the challenge. So here the author's intention was to author teacher gives an inspiration message that we should loyal to our duties. At the same time, we should do our best when no one is watching. We should do our best when no one is watching. So here the author gives an inspirational message to everyone, to all the readers, to how to overcome how the challenge in our life. We should never get fear of anything. At the same time, we should break all the self-imposed limitations. I am good for nothing. I am not fit for this. You have to break all the fear factor or the fear and doubt. Also, we have to overcome that one. At the same time, we should be loyal to ourselves, and also we should do our best when no one is watching. I hope you understood the summary of the story, His First Flight. Or if you turn to page number 2 from the textbook, if textbooks are not available with you, the copy of the textbook, photocopy of the textbook will be sent to your WhatsApps. You can watch, you can see the page clearly. Here, His First Flight. That was it was authored by Liam O. Flaherty. Here he is an Irish novelist. Let me give an introduction about the author. Liam O. Flaherty is an Irish novelist and short story writer. So he is famous for all the short story writings. At the same time, it is most of his stories are about nature, and also to retain the culture. At the same time, the moral that conveys an inspirational message to all the readers. Here, let us read the textbook. The young seagull was alone on his ledge. His two brothers and his sister had already flown away the day before. He had been afraid to fly with them. Somehow, when he had taken a little run forward to the brink of the ledge and attempted to flap his wings, he became afraid. The great expanse of sea stretched down beneath, and it was such a long way down, miles down. He felt certain that his wings would never support him. So he bent his head and ran away back to the little hole under the ledge where he slept at night. So, come to the first paragraph. The young seagull was alone on the ledge. What do you mean by ledge? Ledge means the vertical point of the sharp vertical point of the rock is called as ledge. If you don't know, just take a notebook, take a booklet and note it down. The ledge means it is a sharp vertical edge of the rock. He had two brothers and sister. So they had already flown away the day before. At the same time, he was very scared too. This young seagull was very scared, very afraid to fly with them. So it took an attempt. He had taken a little run forward to the brink of the ledge and attempted to flap his wings. He became afraid. So when it took an attempt to fly, but it was unable to fly. The great expanse of sea stretched down the beneath, and it was such a long way down and miles down, and he felt certain that his wings would never support. He thought when he went forward to fly, when he went forward to the edge of the rock to fly, something that scared the bird. The fear and doubt that stopped the bird to fly. So it started to. There was a negative thought in the mind of the bird that the wings would never support him. So it bent down its head and ran away back to the little hole under the ledge where he slept last night. So here, then come to the next paragraph. Even when each of his brothers and his little sister, whose wings were far shorter than his own, ran to the brink, flapped their wings, and flew away, he failed to muster up courage to take that plunge which appeared to him so desperate. Desperate means hopeless. Just note down the meaning. Desperate means hopeless. His father and mother had come around calling on him, shrilly scolding him, threatening to let him starve on his ledge, unless means if not, unless he flew away, but for a life of him he could not move. Here the word unless means if not. Here in the second paragraph it is said that his brothers and sister, their wings were shorter than this young seagull's wings. Even then, they were able to fly. They made they made attempts and able to fly off the own independently. So here, the father and mother, father seagull and mother seagull, they made all the possible helps to make this young seagull to fly, but everything was in vain. There was no use of that. So they started scolding, threatening, and even they let him to starve on his ledge. Ledge means on the edge of the rock. Then even they started to scold, they started to threaten, they made this young seagull to starve. Even then it was unable to fly. Here the desperate meaning is hopeless. Unless means if not. Then come to the third paragraph. That was 24 hours ago. Since then, nobody had came near him. The day before, all day long, he had watched his parents flying about with his brothers and sister, perfecting them in the art of flight, teaching them how to skim in the wave and how to dive for fish. He had in fact seen his older brother catch his first herring. Herring means long silver fish. Herring means long silver fish. And devour means eat eagerly. Devour means eat eagerly. Devour it, standing on a rock while his parents circled around, rising the proud crackle. Crackle means sharp broken noise. Crackle means sharp broken noise. And all the morning, the whole family had walked about the big plateau midway and down the opposite cliff, laughing at his covered eyes. Covered eyes means opposite of covered is courage. Opposite of cowardice, you might understood the meaning of cowardice. Opposite of cowardice is courage. Opposite of cowardice is courage. Note down the opposite also. Antonym meaning, antonym also. Plateau. Plateau means it is a flat land. Plateau means it is a flat land. Plateau means it is a flat land. Here, in this paragraph, it is said that the previous day, the mother bird, father bird, and also sisters and brothers, they came out of the clay. They on the ledge of the. They came out of the rock and they started to fly, and they were enjoying in the sea, and they were teaching the art of flying to the children. Children means his brothers and sisters. They taught them how to dive in the sea, then how to skim in the waves. How to skim in the waves. At the same time, how to catch fish. Here, the older brother catch his first herring. Herring means the long silver fish. Then they were eating eagerly, standing on a rock. At the same time, the parents were circling around the young ones, very proudly. In every morning, all the morning, the family had walked about a big plateau midway down the opposite cliff, laughing at his cowardice. So they were laughing. They were laughing at this young seabird, which was very scared to fly. So they thought it was they thought this young seagull was coward. Coward means does not have courage. The sun was ascending the sky, blazing warmly on the ledge that faced the south. He felt the heat because he had not eaten since the previous nightfall. Then he had found a dried piece of mackerels, means sea fish. Mackerels means sea fish. Mackerel's tail at the far end of the ledge. Now there was not a single scrap of food left. He had searched every inch, rooting among the rough, dried, caked straw nest where he and his brothers and sisters had been hatched. He even gnawed at the dried pieces of eggshell. It was like eating a part of himself. So here, in the previous day, everyone left the place and they were just enjoying, and they were teaching how to fly, how to fly and how to skim and how to dive for fish. Everything it was taught by the parents. In fact, here older brother was seen catching the fish, and it was just they were just criticizing the young seagull. It was they were just criticizing it. It is very this bird was a very covered bird. Covered bird means it has no courage. The sun was now ascending. The sky blazing warmly on the ledge faced her south, and he felt the heat because he had not eaten since the previous nightfall. He had not found dried piece of he had found a dried piece of mackerels. So the scorching of the sun was very the scorching of the sun, it was unable to bear. It was extremely heat. It was unable to bear, and it was extremely heat, and there was no food also. So it was searching for food. So finally it got a dried piece of mackerels. Mackerels means sea fish. Mackerel's tail at the far end of the ledge. Near to the end of the ledge, it could see a mackerel's tail. Mackerels means sea fish tail, dried. There was nothing to eat. At the same time, it was searching for something to eat. Finally, it could see dried cake straw nest. Straw, only the straw nest. The nest that was made by straw. It could see that, and finally it started to eat. And at the same time, it is a nest where his brothers and sisters hatched. Were hatched. So it even ate the dried pieces of eggshells also. It was very guilty that it was similar to eating the part of himself. He then trotted back and forth from one edge of the ledge to the other, his long grey legs stepping daintily, trying to find some means of reaching his parents without having to fly. But on each side of him, the ledge ended in a sheer fall of precipice. Precipice means very steep side of the cliff. Here also very steep side of the mountain or cliff. With the sea beneath means under. And between him and his parents there was a deep and wide crack. Surely he could reach them without flying if he could only move northwards along the cliff face. Cliff means mountain, but small mountain. But then on what could he walk? There was no ledge. He was not a fly, and above him he could see nothing. The precipice was sheer, and the top precipice means the edge of the cliff was very sheer, very pointed, and the top of it was perhaps. The meaning of perhaps means sometimes. The meaning of perhaps means sometimes. Further away than the sea beneath him. So it was just moving forward and backward, and it was trying to fly, but it was unable to fly. So it could see his parents the opposite side of the next side of the sea. There was another one cliff was there. They were just waiting there, and they were enjoying there, and they were learning the art of flying, diving, and how to catch the fish. Everything was seen there, and at the same time the parents were circling here and there, safeguarding the young ones. And so looking everything, it made eager to it made some motivation. It gave some motivation to fly, but it couldn't fly. It goes to the edge of the cliff, and it was just very scared about on seeing the depth of the cliff from the sea. So it was staying. It was staying there on the edge of the cliff. Then come to the next paragraph. He stepped slowly on the brink of the ledge, and standing on the leg with the other leg hidden under his wings, he closed one eye and the other and pretended to be falling. Still, they took no notice of him. He saw his two brothers and is lying and his sister lying on the plateau dozing with his heads sunk in their necks. His father was preening the feathers. Preening means cleaning feathers with the beak. Preening means cleaning feathers with the beak. The feathers on his white back. Only his mother was looking at him. So here, this bird, this young seagull, it was standing on the edge of the cliff, and it was very eager to fly, but it was unable to fly. The fear that avoids these birds to fly. So it was standing on the edge of the cliff, at the same holding the legs, one leg inside the wings, with the standing in the one leg, and it was pretending it was going to fall asleep. So nobody took notice of this bird. His brothers and his sisters, they were lying on the plateau. Plateau means flat land. At the same time, his father was just cleaning the feathers with the beak, that is preening the feathers on his white back. Only his mother was looking at him. So nobody took notice of this bird, and nobody is concerned about this bird also. So at the same time, the parents, they wanted to teach a lesson, and without just like spoon feeding, it want to teach this parents want to teach a lesson to fly of his own. So they were waiting for him. So here a few questions are there. When you come to the next class, a few questions are there. You have to just note down from the textbook, write it on the you have to find out the answer for this textbook from the textbook here. Why did the seagull fail to fly? Next question is, what did the parents do when the young seagull failed to fly? Here in the page number 2 questions are there. In the next page, another two questions are there. What was the first catch of the young seagull older brother? Next one, what did the young seagull manage to find in search of food on the ledge? Here, what was the first catch of the young seagull's older brother? What was the first catch? It could. What was the first catch? Here the answer is here. The old seen his older brother catch his first herring. Herring means long silver fish. What was the first catch? It was a long silver fish. Then, what did the young seagull manage to find in his search for food on the ledge? What did he find? What did the young seagull manage to find in his search for food on the ledge? Mackerels here. He had found a dried pieces of mackerel tail at the far end of the ledge. So here another two questions are also there. Why did the seagull fail to fly? What do you understand from this story? What made him not to fly? That is the question. Why did the young seagull fail to fly? So here the fear and doubt that made the seagull not to fly. Next question. What did the parents do when the young seagull failed to fly? They scolded him, threatened him. At the same time, they scolded him and threatened him, and made the bird to starve on the ledge. This is the answer. Just find out the answer. If you have no guide, find out the answer, note down it. Later you will get the textbook. Till then you can get the snap screenshot. You will get the screenshot of this page and you can read it and find the answer. And at the same time, meanings also will be sent to you, synonyms and antonyms, that also you have to study. Next week you have to write a objective type test on this one. Thank you.